Good morning, everybody. It's Olivia Prince here with Wind River Realty, your hometown realtors. And today we are going to talk a little bit about New Year's resolutions and goals. It is, of course, January, and we've been talking a lot about selling your house in January this month so far. And now we're going to kind of turn the tables a little bit and talk a little bit about if your goals, your New Year's resolutions are to buy. I know for a lot of you, you're going to be doing both. You're going to sell, you're going to upgrade, you're going to downgrade, you're going to move into a different size of a house. And so this can apply to you from both sides. So if your goal this year is to move into that new home, whatever goal you're trying to achieve, bigger, smaller, maybe you're getting into the country, maybe you're moving to Wyoming because you want to get into a more rural area, then these are some tips that might make it easier for you to obtain those goals. It's always great to have small steps to achieve your big goals. So these are tips that you can do to help keep that promise to yourself to buy that new home in 2021. So first of all, I want to talk about credit. So obviously credit scores are super important if you're going to get a mortgage. So unless you're a cash buyer, this is something you're going to want to be aware of. It's definitely a great idea to check your credit score and see what it is. We find that a lot of people either think they have worse credit than they do, or they think they have better credit than they do. And you can go on annualcreditscore.com or freecreditcheck.com, lots of different places, and check out what your credit score actually is. And that way you know at least some idea of what you're working with. So different mortgages are going to be more particular with credit scores. The higher your score is, the better rate and terms you're going to be able to get. So it's super important to do that. If you need to increase that credit, there's a lot of great things you can do. Paying off bills will help increase your scores. Of course, paying attention to those due dates that sometimes slip by us. The more on time you can be with your payments, then the higher your credit score is going to go. Also, making sure that you're not using all of the available credit you have. Creditors like to know that you have that credit available, but you're being responsible and not using all of it. So sometimes we see people who will buy their fuel on a credit card and pay it off each month just to kind of increase those credit scores. So definitely a great way to start. Also start saving for your closing costs. We do see that a lot of buyers are able to get those sellers to contribute to closing costs, but what that really amounts to is you're paying more for the house than the seller might have taken otherwise. And so it's nice to have a little bit of savings there in your court. It gives you a little more negotiation power. Sometimes it gives you a better opportunity to maximize your buying power when you're out in the market, especially since it's such a seller's market. It might make you more competitive to have that savings. In our market, you're looking at probably $4,500 to $6,500 in closing costs. That's going to depend a large part on the price range you're shopping in and the lender you're using. But you can use a 3% of loan amount rule of thumb to give you an idea of what amount of closing costs you might need to be able to pay your own closing costs. A lot of our buyers have the ability to use the Real Development Program, which is a zero down program. And then if you can get the seller to pay your closing costs, you are getting into a new home for very minimal investment of your own. But if you've got that extra money in your pocket, that's more money that you can use to make that house your home once you've closed. But also if your credit score is maybe a little lower, or depending on your qualifications, you might look at FHA or conventional financing, and you'll need some down payment money as well. So even if that seller pays your closing costs, you might find yourself needing that down payment funds. So it's just always a good idea to do a little bit of savings. It's amazing how fast you can save that amount of money just by giving up your morning coffee, That's $5 a day that you can potentially save. You could cut cable and watch your Hulu or your Roku instead. I know when we dropped our cable, that was literally about a $90 to $100 savings per month for a lot of channels that we didn't even watch. So I don't think you'd even miss that, and it's a lot of money that you can save each month. Also selling things you don't need. I'm doing a decluttering challenge. It's January. I do that each year, and I think it's easy to go through your house and go, oh my gosh, I'm not using this. Just get rid of it. Maybe you can get a few extra bucks here or there to help you with that. Or possibly, depending on your job, you could do some extra shifts or get a second job for a while. When you are trying to achieve a goal, it's worth really putting your full self into it. And if that means you have to work a little bit longer for a short period of time to achieve something that's important to you, then that's a great opportunity to do that. So that's another thing you can do to help achieve that goal for 2021. Also, debt to income ratio is very important when you're purchasing a home. And so that is the amount of income you make, and it is varied with the debt you are carrying as well. So the lenders feel that you can only carry a certain amount of debt and be able to be responsible for your payments, be able to buy your groceries, that sort of a thing, which is true. You don't want to get maxed out in your debt. So a great way to get ready to purchase a home is to pay off debts you don't need to have. Maybe you've got a car that's almost paid off. Go ahead and pay that off. Don't buy the new car. Just hold back for a while. Pay off your credit cards that I think I mentioned before, but your lender loves to see that you've got that available credit, but that you're being responsible with that available credit. So you might have a $5,000 credit card, but you don't have a balance, or your balance is very minimal. That's going to help your debt to income and your credit score as well. Plus it saves you money. Credit cards are crazy high interest, and if you can get rid of that, it's a huge savings that you can put towards down payments, closing costs, that sort of a thing. So we always recommend also that you talk to a lender. They can actually pull your credit score. It's really great to talk to one of our local lenders who will pull up your credit score, and they'll say, okay, here's what you need to do to be ready to buy, or you're already ready to buy and this is what you qualify for. That gives you that opportunity to have the guidance of, I need to work on my credit score, I need to save a little bit of money, or maybe I haven't been in my job for long enough. That way you know what things are going to be your top priorities to make that purchase that you're dreaming of actually a reality. So lots of great things you can do. We are always happy to help you at Wind River Realty, just to guide you, to tell you who to talk to, lenders that we think are reliable and can really make a difference for you in your decision making, giving you an idea of what you can and can't afford in our marketplace, what to expect. There are just so many moving pieces, and we're just always happy to assist in any way we can. So please feel free to call us, 307-856-3999, and we can get you connected with whatever information you need to make your home buying goals a reality. Happy 2021!